to the Radical SR8 Battle of the Radicals, round 9 from Circuit Zolder. I'm JP. I'm going to be joined in the booth by Mr. Edward Hunter, who's going to come along for the ride here this evening. We've got 2 races lined up for you. What more could you look for and get excited about? Well, it should be this one. We've got a 10-lap opening sprint, and then we go into a 19-lap feature for you as well. It's going to be very, very exciting. Sit back, grab your drinks, get your popcorn, and get ready. Let's have a look at the scores on the doors at the moment. Heinz Braun leading the SR10s 5.38. Finally taking over the lead from Ray Peasley on 5.34, with Dominic Pereira on 4.76, with Patricio Silva on 4.36, with Phil Glover rounding out the top 5. In the SR8s, Mike Busson leading the way over Simon Renard, with Stefan Mellis in 3rd. Then we've got a long way back to Oleg Gullickson, who's probably between the front 3, possibly even the front 2, depending on how Stefan Mellis can get on. And with not many races to go, well, it's going to be interesting to see how this one materializes. BOP for this evening, of course, it is the weight adjustments, 45 kilos added to the SR8 with an engine power of 104%. Radical SR10s minus 45 kilos and engine power at 98%. We'll see how we get on, whether or not they've got this right this week, because obviously the speed difference is generally down the straight for the SR10, and it generally runs away with it. But we're going to see how they get on. Let's bring Ed into the booth for a quick chat. Ed, welcome in, bud.
Yeah, hey James. Yeah, definitely been hopping in along for the ride, as you say, and yeah, we got a pretty in terms of it's a quality not quantity grid this time around, but never mind. I think the BOP here, as you say, usually they do a pretty solid job, and Zolder, though, of course, pretty interesting circuit. 10 turns, of course, designed, of course, by John Hugenholtz. It's one of those underrated circuits of John Hugenholtz. He also did Suzuka and a little bit of Zandvoort, a couple others as well. So he's a pretty prolific designer from back in the day, in the 60s particularly. But yeah, Zolder, of course, plenty of chicanes, plenty of long straights, but also a couple of fast corners in there. There's a good mix, good challenge here. And it's really going to take not just a decent setup, but a little bit of bravery to get the best lap times out of it. So you can see qualifying at the moment. Unsurprisingly, it's Heinz Braun that is going fastest, 1:19.096. He just clocks over the line with 2 minutes to go. So Braun, the German, who has always been one of the front runners in recent times in this championship, then is unsurprisingly staking his claim up front in that yellow SR8.
Yeah, that's the thing at this moment in time with Heinz Braun. You know, Mike Busson is the leader of the SR8s, as they're in gold, and the SR10s are in silver. So Braun's in an SR10.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
That's all right, don't worry. Oleg Gullickson in behind in 3rd, then Kettle Larson in behind that. Then you got the SR10s of Gomez, Phil Glover, Dominic Pereira, and Emmanuel Mandika, as they all go over the line with 1:45 on the clock. Not long in the opening race. We've got 10 laps up for grabs here. Top 10 reverse as well, so technically whoever finishes last will be on 1st place with the low grid during the summer, but it still could make it quite interesting for them opening 10 laps.
Yeah, particularly the first lap. You really don't want to get taken out early in the race, because then you're basically guaranteeing you're starting at the back and you won't benefit from the reverse grid. And of course, you would think, well, less cars starting at the back is not as big a penalty, but overtake is not necessarily going to be the easiest on this track, depending on how the differences play out between the SR8s and the SR10s. But yeah, Heinz Braun, with all of the SR8s blocking him from the rest of the SR10s in qualifying at the moment, that's pretty good for him. If he can build a gap early doors, then you would think it's going to be difficult for too many people to challenge him. But yeah, as we look at Mike Busson, trying to get on level pegging, he's only 86 thousandths ahead of Gullickson. So Ole could fancy getting himself onto the front row. Braun is in the pits with 40 seconds to go, so he is done, as indeed is Phil Glover. Yeah,
Busson coming into the final. Jackie Hitbox chicane there as well for the fast version, not the slower version. Through they go, and over the line goes Mike Busson. What does he put on the time? 1:19.194. His fastest lap.
Very close.
Yeah, but his fastest lap, but still not enough to take pole away. There is Kettle Larson in the background. He's coming over the line as well as he moves his way up. 1:19.947. Another man that set his fastest lap. Then we got Patricio Gomez Silva He is not going anywhere. It just goes over the line.
Okay, to slow down and then switch over to the racing line like that.
Yeah,
Or someone behind's
a
on it.
little bit dangerous, but listen, he's hot. We'll just take it that he's hot and bothered.
He is Portuguese.
Exactly.
So
Heinz
he's very
Braun
hot.
will take pole position with Mike Buson in second, Oleg Golickson in third, then Kettle Larson in fourth. Then you got Patricia Silva, Phil Glover, Dominic Pavera, and Emmanuel Mandika. That is the order for this evening. So let's see how these guys get on and who's going to come out on top of this one. I reckon it's going to be a close battle, Ed, to be fair, between that SR10 of Heinz Braun and that SR8 of Mike Buson.
Yeah, there's of course a different weight and a different level of power between the two cars then. So yeah, Buson should be, if he has a quick start here, he might be able to take track position, but whether Braun is going to breeze past him on the straights remains to be seen there, as it looks like Patricio Gomez E. Silva just flashing his lights there. It's, of course, evening sun in the background. Shouldn't be any need for the headlights unless people are losing their minds, which, given this heat, is a distinct possibility.
Absolutely is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, get ready. It's going to be a green very, very shortly. Just waiting for Kettle Larson and Oleg Golickson to get onto the grid. They're both Norwegian drivers there, and in the SR8s, it's seeing what goes on with them guys. They've got about 40 seconds, give or take, to see if they get onto the grid. I'm hoping they do, and it's not got too hot. Otherwise, we're going to be down to 6 drivers, and it's going to be really, really difficult. But hopefully,
wind turbine, you can see in the van just from onboard Phil Glover at the first corner, is really taking the mick out of these drivers, I think, at this point today.
Yeah, it's proving that there isn't actually anything on there. Right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we go. The lights are going to be coming on now. It's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is green. Big chunk of wheel spin from Heinz Braun right at the start there. Buson's gonna try and run round the outside. Is he gonna make it here? Going into turn number 1, he'll have the inside for turn 2. I think the SR8 of Mike Buson will get that. Oh, Silver's off the back in the background and Braun did not get off the line there, Ed. Buson took the momentum straight through.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a long hold while we were waiting for the Ole Gullikson and Kettle Larson to show up there. So I think maybe Heinz Braun just a little bit caught out there. But certainly, this isn't a total disaster. Buson, though, will try and capitalise now he's got the lead. And Braun needs to be careful he doesn't fall into the clutches of Gullikson and Larson as well here. But he's made a good middle sector here as he goes up through Butte into Telarmenbocht into turn 7 and then down towards Bolderberg Arspielbach. There we go. I don't know how to pronounce that one.
You're braver than me trying to pronounce them on that one. That is definitely not something I'm on here as well. Into the second to last corner. Jochen Rindt.
Oh, lock up.
This moment in time. Buson there, big on the brakes. Heinz Braun getting in behind him. Then you got Ole Golickson and Kettle Larson. The next two SR8s fighting away. Then we've got Phil Glover driving around a little bit on his own. Pavera and Mandika not very far apart at all. Through the right hander we go. Now that run down into the line. Braun's going to get Buson on the straight. The speed of the SR10 again here.
Yeah, there we go. You saw Braun just got a really good exit from that final chicane at Rindes. Everybody flirting with the track limits and beyond. It's Gullikson that puts 2 wheels in the gravel. That allows Larson up to third there. As I think further down, there's been more trouble as Pavera has gotten past Mandika for P6.
Yeah, he did. Mandika did go off the side of the circuit. Unfortunately for him as well, running wide, running in deep, straight through on the left-hand side there on turn number 1. And you can see Pavera does manage to go through. Now Buson got some catching up to do in the corners here if he can. That SR10 strong on the straights, but it is about the SR8's corner in here. Can really the corner of the SR8 save Mike Buson, or is he going to struggle when that 10 hits the straight?
Well, now he's behind, he can benefit a little bit from the slipstream as well. So if he nails his exits, there's still a chance for Buson to at least keep Braun under pressure. But whenever they get down that main start-finish straight, Braun is just going to eke further and further away. In fact, he makes a mistake and again goes a little bit wide through the penultimate corner there, just turn 8, and that allows Buson to be very, very close as they go through Jackie Ixbocht once again for the second time in this race to start lap 3. They're crucially both pulling away from Larson and Gullikson in 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, Braun, fastest lap of the race, 1:19.8 at the moment in time. Buson, his fastest lap on a 1:20.187. He's got to really dig deep here to see if he can get hold of Heinz Braun. He's got to do it in these corners. Traditionally, as we know in this series, the SR10 is quicker on the straights. They have been working on the BOP. They are not very far apart whatsoever, but it's got to be done in the corners for Mike Buson. Mandika and Pavera again back together, Ed. They're going into turn number 4.
Yep, so Mandika fighting back here. The Swiss driver Pavera all has to defend a little bit as they approach turn 5 side by side as they go under the bridge, and it is Mandika that's got the inside for the chicane. Goes flying over the curb there as yeah, definitely a little bit of a track limits warning there that Mandika has got to essentially tank there. Pavera trying to get the black SR10 back alongside, locks up and has to get out of it there. So the 3-1-3 Mandika immediately spins and locks up. So just an unforced error there. He did all the hard work and is now completely, well, just making a huge mistake there and losing his head slightly. So through as well goes Phil Glover into P5.
Yeah, I think for this is a problem for Mandika. He kind of hit the throttle. He knew Pavera was coming, and he hit it early.
Unstable from the curb,
yeah,
I think.
Literally unsettled. Then he tried to get it back online, braked, then tried to hit the throttle again, and he kind of probably should have feathered that. Would have made it a little bit more easy for him. Mike Buson has had a slowdown. That has dropped him back from Heinz Braun. 1.9 seconds at the moment, Ed. Everybody's a little bit more spread out. Why we're doing this, we'll have a look at Patricio Gomez right at the beginning. Oh, I think there may have been contact there. See if we can get that again. Yes, there was.
Was that Pavera on the inside?
Yeah, Pavera on the inside goes and hits the, unfortunately, Patricio Silva. But they were going almost 3 wide. Not exactly ideal.
No, well, I mean, at the start of the race, the first corner, you can't really win the race at the first corner, but you can certainly give yourself a big headache and put yourself in trouble. So, yeah, just a bit too much aggression there. Luckily for Silva, he has been able to get past Mandika to the tune of 5 seconds, and Silva is actually right behind Pavera and has been lapping about 3 seconds per lap quicker. So there could be a move for P6 coming before too long. Pavera, though, has got an 11-second gap to make up to Phil Glover then. So Phil is actually putting together a very tidy, consistent race then. Only about 5 seconds behind Gullikson and Larson, who are still close together. And in fact, here is Silva lining up Pavera here. So it could be a bit of revenge for what happened on the first lap for coming the way of Silva, as Pavera inches closer and closer to the front bumper here.
Yeah, there's the second chicane layout we were talking about. It's a lot quicker than the first one. He's going to tuck in right behind him now, pull him into turn number 1. He's losing time. In he goes. Looks like Pavera's got a little bit of a better exit than Silva, right into the right-hander of turn 2 now. Lock up from Pavera. That's going to bring Silva into it. Is he going to look up the inside at the moment? Is he going to get room here, Ed, or is the door going to slam shut?
Here we go. I think Pavera's probably got to be sensible here, and indeed he does. Back out through turn 4 then, and through goes Silva up the inside. So Pavera tried to use a little bit of slipstream just to put pressure. Of course, both in SR10, so it's a fairly equal balance. Pavera decides to enter the Olympic high jump there with the left-hand side of his car, and luckily crashes back down to earth before too much more drama can happen up there. But yeah, he saw exactly what happened to Mandika, so Pavera doesn't want to repeat the feat himself as he's absolutely scorching the tyres there through the middle sector. Yeah, definitely on that one. Unfortunately for Dominic Pavera, he's got a little bit aggy, and now he's trying to go and slam that throttle down, and it's not really working out. Buson with a 1:19.6, his fastest lap. Oh,
there goes Pavera again. Now fast acceleration's not going to work. Here comes Mandika, Pavera, Mandika and Silva providing the action here in race number 1, and 12 laps on it. We're halfway through, and we'll see how he gets on. I've never noticed on the side of Dominic Pavera's car, on the right-hand side, the right ends up the right way. On the left-hand side, when he enters this corner, it's upside down. Well, mirroring's hard, I guess, for the livery creators. It's upside down.
Yeah, it certainly is. It certainly doesn't make it easy to read, does it? Unless you've got upside down eyes, of course. Even then, that's probably not going to work too well because it's usually only mirrored stuff that that kind of works for. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know where I was going with that sentence.
I don't know where were you going then. What
I
was
don't
you
know.
do? Give us
I don't think anybody has mirrored eyes, so that doesn't work either.
No,
But
get a science lesson, everybody, in the middle of the
yeah,
broadcast.
there we go. Let's talk about refraction, shall we? Anyway, it looks like Pavera has got it under control through the 5-6 chicane this time, the Kleiner chicane, of course. And he is now, of course, you saw in the previous lap, he noticed he was getting out of shape into turn 8, and he just stomped on the brakes. Absolute shower of smoke trailed out of him, and he lost a bunch of time to Silver, who's now broken about 7.5 seconds clear. But yeah, that will excite Mandika just a little bit. So these two, they'll take themselves, right, we've got our mistakes out of the way. Let's just try and keep it clean to the end, as Pavera cannot get on the throttle quickly enough there through turn 8 then, as they come through Jochen and into the Jackie Xbox for another time then. Braun, by the way, 2.5 seconds clear of Mike Buson, consistently pulling about 0.2 a lap away from him. So it is looking like Buson is falling out of contention ever so slightly. Closest battle at the moment is these two. Well, it was until Mandika just did that at the first corner. And it's also Gullikson and Larson. I was about to say, but Gullikson has had a big off himself while we're watching this.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, Ollie Gullikson off the side of the circuit. Oh, big bump.
Oh.
Not ideal. That was into Klein. Big bump, and unfortunately for Gullikson. The interesting thing about that chicane, and I wonder if he's just got it all wrong, is he literally, I'm trying to see if I can get it from here. He just goes in, narrows it up, and then just doesn't make the exit, and then it just launches him up in the air.
It felt like he was understeering a little bit on entry there as well, so that sort of led to him having to sort of straight line the chicane, which is not always a viable strategy at Zolder, given how vicious some of those curbs are. So that's put Phil Glover within about 1.5 seconds of him, but I don't think Phil in the 121.2s is Pavera again deciding to absolutely smoke the rear tyres there in his quest to escape Mandika. But yeah, Phil Glover, naturally, I don't think has quite got the pace that Gullikson and Larson have. Larson has just set a 1:20.0, I believe, which actually compares pretty decently with Buson, who's only about 0.5 second quicker than him. So Larson is starting to up his lap times, but that mistake for Gullikson could well have cost him a shot at the podium. Yeah,
he's sitting in there at the moment. He's a long way back. I'd be very surprised if he can make Kettle Larson, to be blatantly honest with you, Ed. I don't think Larson's that kind of driver to make that catastrophic mistake, if you get what I mean, to drop him back 8.5 seconds. I think it's going to be as it is. I think Gullikson's going to settle for third in the SR8 podium. Braun's going to settle for the win out in front, 2.7 seconds. Again, another man, I think, as well. We have seen him make mistakes, so he is human, but I think he's managing that gap to Mike Buson quite well. Yeah, and certainly Braun has come a long way and he's really ironed out the mistakes that he was making earlier in his career in past Radical Race series, series, I guess. So, yeah, the German has certainly owned his craft. He took pole position very narrowly from Buson. So, in terms of over a single lap, the strengths between the SR10 of Braun and the SR8 of Buson aren't really a whole lot, but Braun being that a little bit more consistent, since the only mistake he really made was at the start, wasn't he, where Buson got ahead, and since then he breezed past Mike down the straights, and he's really just been able to take control. You can see on board, smooth, calm, composed. No, he doesn't have to do anything too silly then in these final couple of laps, and you can see the big Heinz Hauer Frentzen helmet on the German. I believe he's a big Frentzen fan, supposedly, so that's what that is about. Yeah, but Buson, of course, trying his level best, but he knows he's lapping out 3/10 slower per lap the previous lap. The only drivers in the 119s, so there's not a huge threat from Larson behind. It's all really about these two trailing each other. If I might boost on, my thoughts would ever so slightly be turning to, all right, what can I learn now that's going to help me come race 2 when I start ahead of Heinz? Yeah. I'm not really sure what that could be. So.
Oh, he's got the start sorted. We know that.
Exactly. That's the thing. I think from Mike's perspective, he's got to look at trying to clear as many people as possible. Because at the end of the day, that's what he needs to do. Because the 10 speed just outdoes the 8. Hands down. So
you even saw that just there for turn 4. You saw Braun using all of the track limits, 2 wheels almost touching the grass there, whereas Buson was a little bit more, because he was approaching at less of a high speed, so he was just taking the normal line and just going no far over the curbs, as we see actually, a little bit deep in there for Heinz, so maybe he's lost 2 temps, 3 temps there alone, so that really shows you, it may not seem like a big event corner there, that middle chicane in the middle sector at Telamenbot at turn 7. But yeah, it can really cost you quite a surprising amount of time there, just with such a tiny mistake, just going a little bit deep over the curb there.
Yeah, he's down to 1.9 seconds now, back out again to 2. Heinz Braun and Mike Buson through they go for lap number 11. Let's see whether or not Braun's going to make this work. Can he keep in front of Buson going into that final lap? We're going to find out in about 3 minutes and 38 seconds time, roughly, as they're going to do 2 more laps. This one and 1 more. Do you reckon Eddie's going to hold on? I think he's a little bit more comfortable than we're giving him credit for.
Yeah, I think so, because you saw actually Buson was pushing really, really hard through that last chicane at the last corner at Jackie Xbox, and actually very nearly, it looked from the long distance sort of off-board shot like he was about to hit the wall and go in the gravel. There's, big lift of the wheels there over the curb for Braun. So Braun is definitely feeling the pressure here, but he knows even with a couple of mistakes, so long as he doesn't end up face planting into the wall, he can probably tank the mistakes and still come home with a win here.
Yeah, what's worse is there as well, he hit the brakes, he knew he was going to slide. And then when the car come back down, he hit the brakes, and that was it then, basically. He lost a bunch of time, but it's still out at 2.3 seconds. Buson still can't get in closer. Coming into that final chicane one more time here. He's got 1 more lap, Heinz Braun. Can he hold it? Can he not? Well, stay tuned for the next minute and 19 seconds to find out here, Ed. It's been an enthralling situation between these two because the gap has been coming up and down, but Heinz Braun making errors.
Yeah, it's ever since we started watching Heinz that he's, well, maybe he was making a couple of errors earlier that we missed, but yeah, sure, it certainly feels like under pressure. It's just ever so slightly starting to affect him, but he is saving these moments, crucially. What's also happening, the other close battle going on is Mandika has started lapping about over a second quicker than Pivera in front of him. So the Mandika, I think, desperately doesn't want to finish last in this one. And Pivera, 17 seconds down on silver, but he is defending very, very well from Emmanuel Mandika. As through the Kleiner chicane, again, a little lift, but this time Heinz Braun tanks it. And you can see even Buson starting to risk it there. And maybe Mike now sees that the gap has gone over 3 seconds and might realize that victory is looking less and less likely at this point with only a couple of corners left to go.
I think it is looking less and less likely for Buson. Glover's going to grab second in the SR10s in the class battles. Silver's going to get third.
Gullikson had a big off.
Yeah, just been off the side of the circuit, but we're going to see Heinz Braun come over the line here. He's into this final chicane 1 more time, the final time this evening. Heinz Braun's going to take the victory in race number 1. He's going to be the winner. We'll be on the back end of the grid for race 2, but he doesn't care. It's a win for Heinz Braun over the line. Buson over the line. Braun, just to top it all off, goes and sets the fastest lap of the race. Carol Larson comes over the line, grabbing second place in class 3rd overall, with Phil Glover getting himself a tidy 4th overall. So well done to Phil on that one. Let's have a look at Gullikson and see what he got himself up to here, Ed.
Yeah, it's Kleiner chicane again. He hits both curbs and has another moment similar to before, but this time he ends up facing the wrong way, and that's how Phil Glover got through.
Yeah, but good job for Phil taking that overall. Dominic Pivera.
I don't think I've seen Phil finish in the top 4 before, so that was a really sterling effort there.
I'm trying to think. I've slept lots. So, Dominic Pivera over the line in 7th. We'll join Emmanuel Mandika on the front row for race number 2. We will have a brief 2-minute little bit of a warm-up here before we get into race number 2. Let's bring you up the results for race number 1. And it was Heinz Braun, your winner, with Mike Buson in second, Kettle Larson in third. Phil Glover gets fourth overall with Ollie Gullickson in fifth. Patricio Silva is in sixth place. I did add his team that he put in earlier. Vortex Portugal Motorsport is in sixth with Dominic Pivera in seventh and Emmanuel Mandica in eighth. Not entirely sure why it's not working. Phil Glover's out on the racetrack at the moment there as well from Mr. Positivity Racing, doing his bit during this warm-up. Ed, do you race, and do you really do a lot through warm-up? I generally sit down and drink a cup of tea.
In this weather, yeah, maybe a glass of cool water with some ice in it. But yeah, I think warm-up, especially if you're not confident with the track, sometimes the warm-up can be a big help there. And we saw Phil he had a very clean race, which was the most important thing in that first race. Didn't make any big mistakes. That got him up to P4. But you do wonder, maybe he wasn't pushing as hard as some of the other drivers and was sort of getting to grips with the track in racing conditions. So I wonder if Phil is going to use this warm-up just to maybe test a few lines, think about how he's going to manage the reverse grid. Of course, he's in the middle of the pack, so he's only going to be, instead of fourth, I think, starting sixth, essentially. So it's not a huge difference either way for him. But yeah, he knows he'll have some fast drivers right behind him that'll be keen to get through there. The one upside for Gullickson is with that mistake, at least he won't have to clear Phil Glover at the start of race 2. He will start a place ahead of him.
Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be a lot of mix-up. Pivera, Mandica will be on the front row, of course. Buson and Braun will be on the back. Buson will be ahead, but it's how he's going to get on getting that one. Kettle Larson's out on track, Dominic Pivera's out on track, and Patricio Gomez Silva is also out on the circuit as well. A lot of these people clearly not needing hydration as much as I am up here in the booth in my office. I am sweating out, unfortunately, rather horribly, and to my point, I've just had a shower, so it all seems very counterproductive.
I was just thinking at the YouTube chat, and Kruger78 says, hello to the only other person watching. And he says, oh, 2 other people watching. Well, one of them is me. So there we go. But yeah, confirmation of the grid.
Yeah, Mandica on pole, Pivera in second, and Silva in third. Gullickson fourth, Glover, Kettle Larson, Mike Buson, and Heinz Braun wrap up the grid there as well. So let's see how these guys are going to get on and who's going to come out on top. We're just waiting for Emmanuel Mandica and Kettle Larson to come and join us, and that would be absolutely amazing if he can. Emmanuel for race number 2. There you go. He's on the grid. Now, if these 3 work together at the front, these SL10s, I reckon they might do all right. But ladies and gentlemen, we're just about to find out. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Race 2 is green.
Oh, Mandica stalled.
Mandica did not go anywhere, but Dominic Pivera did, and he's leading into turn number 1. Gomez in there as well. Gomez just went and got hit by Gullickson. Buson making his way through up into third already. Great start for Mike Buson. That's what he had to do there going into this race. And we said it at the beginning, Buson had to jump people as quickly as possible.
Yeah, there we go. And it's almost more pronounced with less cars because it means he's only got 2 more to clear to get into the lead. But again, oh dear, as we see Gullickson into the wall. Another big mistake there as we see 3 wide for the lead. It's Buson trying to go up the inside of both Silva and Pivera. 3 into 1 does not go. And round goes Silva for the second race succession. And so too does Buson as he gets hit by somebody else. And Buson, I think, has lost a bit of his front bumper there.
Yeah, I've got a funny feeling we might have to look at the fact that this could have been Buson's fault taking this 3 wide. I don't think there was ever going to be enough.
Pivera sort of squeezed from the outside a little bit as well.
Yeah, Braun just hit Buson. I don't think that was ever going to work on their state. What sort of state is Braun's car's a little bit wibbly and wobbly as well. There's Larson pushing his bump around at this moment in time. He did have it attached.
Oh dear, Gullickson off again.
I think Gullickson is broken.
Meatball flag for Heinz Braun, so he's being sent in, I think.
Yeah, Braun's going into pit lane to try and get them repairs. He's only got 3 laps to do that. So Braun is broke. 31.7 for Pivera, then Glover, then Mandica, then Silva.
Glover's going for the lead. Wow, okay, so staying out of trouble has really worked there. He's right all over the back of Pivera like my favourite phrase again, a cheap suit. But yeah, Phil Glover is no cheap suit himself. He is an expensive, beautifully ordained suit.
You keep trying to dig yourself out of that hole, Ed.
Yeah, there we go.
Just get a shovel. Get a shovel.
Dig up, stupid.
Get a shovel and just join me in the hole. I do it every week. Don't you worry about it. No, I think for me this is going to be Glover's moment now as well. He always said I've never seen him win on the SR8s, and I haven't. Since I've ever been here in this Radical Race Series, I've never seen him take a win. So go Phil Glover, I'm going to move away from you and I'm going to let you get on with your job. Buson's just sent it up the inside of Silver, managed to get it stopped. Now he's got Mandika in front of him, and Mike Buson not taking any prisoners at the moment here, Ed. He's just going full bore with no nose.
Yeah, he's trying to make up for lost time here, and he certainly knows that the corners under the brakes is his best chance, as Glover has taken the lead, as you see Buson all over the back of Mandika in the orange and baby blue SR10 ahead of him. Buson then may have to tuck in and wait for the next braking zone to make his move. As you can tell, missing just a few crucial points of downforce and nearly hits the back. Oh my goodness me, wide goes Buson and through goes Silver.
Mike got way too close there. Silver's going to send it on the inside of Mandika. No, bails out. I don't know. This is one thing I don't understand, and maybe one of the drivers can get back to me if you watch this back. Why send it in, then pull out, and then not get back on the racing line? To me, that doesn't make sense. Why tighten yourself up on an entrance that you're not going for or not going for the overtake for? I get you want to put the person off, and I understand that, but if you're not actually going to go and make the overtake, why don't you just go back onto the racing line? But Silver now and Mandika going to go side by side, are they? Into Clyde.
Or Mandika in the gravel.
Yeah, missed it. Didn't turn in there. Now he's behind Gullickson. Buson's in there as well. Buson's alongside Silver again, but we know how Mike has been this evening's race. Dominic Pivera and Phil Glover switched backwards and forwards. Glover must have done drama because he's off the side of the circuit at the moment as well.
Yeah, a lot of pressure leading a race for both Pivera and Glover, as this is... Oh, there we go. Oh, he got sent back, it seems, and I think Phil has hit more trouble because he's fallen behind Gullickson down to 5th.
Oh, he's off the side of the circuit.
He spun it.
Yeah, facing the wrong way.
Oh, that's heartbreaking for Phil. One mistake he makes, and it's a hugely costly one. So there we go. Who's blinky? Couldn't see where he was going.
Now, I don't know if you know what Mike drives in. Phil drives in. He drives in VR in a motion simulator.
Oh dear, so that can't have been a comfortable end to his race.
No, Paul LeMay's at YouTube chat. Let's go Glover. And unfortunately, right at the moment, Phil went and binned it in the wall because he probably had some issues with his VR, which sucks because he was doing really well, winning the race, and looking possibly like he could take the win. But unfortunately, once more, I do not get to see Phil win a race here on the SR8s.
Well, it's good news, though, for Mike Buson, because it's another car he doesn't have to pass, and it puts him right on the tail of Pivera now, who's only about 2.5 seconds ahead. Mind you, he's still got Silver, who is keen to finish on the podium, having had all that bad luck in race 1, and a little bit at the start of this one, too, trying to steal the win himself. And then, of course, as Phil Glover, I think, is going into the pits with the meatball flag. So Heinz Braun has now set the fastest lap, having repaired his damage. There is Phil, unfortunately, going a lap down there. Heinz Braun is about 11 seconds behind Larson, who himself has had to pit to repair damage, as well as Pivera. Oh, has gone off somewhere. Yellow flag. Yeah, he's got himself a slowdown there for Dominic Pivera, unfortunately. There he is in front. Mike Buson pushing frantically at this moment in time. 1:21.046, fastest lap of the race. Pivera still not got rid of his slowdown, and he ain't going to have much longer to get rid of it either. Lap 5 of 19. Pivera again, bringing it in. Still not slowed down enough, son. You've got to bring it in further, otherwise if that yellow goes to black, you are absolutely knackered. There you go. He's just got it off, and now look how close Mike's got to him. Yeah, Buson has been waiting for this, hasn't he? As you can see, getting close and closer to Pivera, but he won't strike into the Klein chicane, I don't think. He'll either wait for that second chicane at Telarmenbocht, or he'll wait for a better opportunity on the next lap, potentially then, as into turn 7 they go. And he gets very, very close under braking. And Pivera now will be... He's had to deal with Phil Glover early in the race, and now he's got to hold back Mike Buson in the SR8. Even with the damage, Buson is blisteringly quick here, and he's got Silver half a second behind as well. So Pivera could get passed by both of them in quick succession then. So this is a really difficult to predict. Oh, and they collide. Oh dear. So Pivera got sideways. Buson couldn't react in time, and Silver gets past both of them with one fell swoop.
Yeah, Buson straight over the back end. Up he goes.
Didn't have a lot of time to react, sadly.
No, he had no time. Oh.
Gullickson there just sneaking through.
Yeah, Buson still, he can't have straight steering after that.
Well, he's got a meatball flag, so he may have no option but to come in then. So, oh my goodness. Who hasn't had to go into the pits in this race?
Yeah, I think there's not going to leave many. Buson's got to go in as well. Steering is broke. We are 90 degrees to the, not 90, but we're about 45 to the right. Unfortunately for him, it might actually be less than that, to be blatantly honest with you. But Mike Buson's going to have to go into pit lane. It is a meatball. That's going to put Gullickson into the lead of the SR8s. Oh, no, he's not. He's going to jump it and go slow down as well.
Yeah, there we go. I think Gullickson's trying to enter the Norwegian space program for some reason there. But anyway, yeah, Mike Buson. That SR8's taken a fair few knocks before it's had to come in to serve that meatball flag then. But yeah, that hit with Pivera was one knock too many then. Pivera, I think, it looked visually like he briefly lost the rear wing, but I think that was just a visual glitch because he seems to still be going, albeit with how he's looking a little bit wounded. He's still ahead of Mandika, as was the case in race 1, so I think that will please him. But yeah, Mandika almost stalling at the start has dropped him out of the trouble, so it's kind of bizarrely worked for him there. Unfortunately for Heinz Braun, it's a good thing this race is really long because he might be able to catch those 10 seconds to Larson, but I think it's really a case of damage limitation for him, as indeed for Mike Buson. When is he going to serve this meatball flag? Because he wants to lose as least time as possible here and come out ideally still ahead of Larson.
Yeah, we'll find out next time round. He's on a 121. Larson's doing a 120. So every lap that Mike Buson probably stays out, he's probably losing time at the moment. Nothing worse than trying to drive with a broken car, let alone one that you've got to turn extra rotation to go left with, especially when your steering's facing to the right. You see he's got to go a lot further. Now through the right-hander he goes and comes up over the top of the hill, now down into Villeneuve. It's a right-left, then into Larmenbach. Through the right they go. He's going to, slid that car through there as well. Nice little Tokyo drift style on the entry there, Ed. Buson is trying to limit damage, but he's only got 3 laps to do this meatball.
Yeah, this is a bit like watching a beaten-up banger racing car that Buson's driving at the moment, the way he's drifting it around. But yeah, Gullickson, okay, he's leading or hoping to inherit the leads of the SR8 here, but having Buson ahead of him is going to stop him from challenging Silver for the win, which is, I think, what he really wants. Is in comes Buson then, so crucial then for our SR8 championship leader.
Yeah, he's going to go now into the pit, onto the pit limiter he goes. Emmanuel
I'd be annoyed to see Pivera go through because that's the one who basically slowed down in front of him.
Yeah, there's Mandika, unfortunately. Off he goes, spins it up, slides it, slams the throttle. He does like pushing that old throttle very, very quickly after eating up them tyres, does old Mandika, unfortunately. Gomez, or Silva out in front, Gullickson in second, Pivera, Mandika, Buson on the exit. Where is he in conjunction with Larson or Heinz? Well, Larson,
Larson's through.
Yeah, Larson's through. Where is Braun? Braun's coming through. Buson still stays out in front of Heinz Braun, but Braun on a 1:19.707. Buson had a bit of a blink there, unfortunately. That's not ideal. But Gomez still leading the race at the moment, but important for Buson staying ahead of Braun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely for his hopes and for a little bit of pride as well. But yeah, he's got a decent gap of about 4 seconds or so, and he's right behind Larson as well. So there could be a good little battle for 5th place overall in the closing stages here. The problem is we got a lot of quick drivers with pace, but because they've had to pit to repair damage, they are a long way down. So it's a case of damage limitation here. Here to come the lap times for Silver and Gullickson, 1:21.6 for Patricio Gomez Silva, and 1:21.3 for Gullickson. So Gullickson's got some pace here, And the SR8 at points of this track, he's certainly capitalizing on where the SR8 is quick in some of the corners and braking zones, whereas Silver, I think, is taking it a little bit easy, knows he's got a lead that he can't afford to throw away here.
Yeah, and he's got pace for days in that 10 as well over the 8, so even if Gullickson got close, I think Silver would have the pace to move away from him. He's got to make sure that chicane doesn't give him any grief. Same with Gullickson here as well. That is a massive slowdown chicane. I drove a race once. It was 16 laps and I got 16 slowdowns here. It was absolutely horrible. Could not get that Klein chicane right at all, Ed, to be blatantly honest with you. And I'd lost an absolutely chunk of time. Not that I ever win anyway, but it was, you know what I mean? But it was just absolutely mental. Gullickson is now dropped back to over 4 seconds on the 10. And I think a lot of that comes from the speed as Mandika has given himself a slowdown here as well.
Yep, that's going to allow Larson, Buson, and Braun back into play then for 4th overall as Mandika serves the slowdown, I guess. You can see here Silver has responded, I think. 121.1, there we go. That's a bit more like it. And Gullickson having a slower lap, up half a second slower than Silver there. So you were right. I think Silver, the SR10, has got the pace to respond to anything that Ole Gullickson chooses to throw at him. So all the Portuguese driver has to do now is just keep it clean, keep his head for another 9 laps. I think the big fight is going to be Mandika, Larson, Buson, Braun over that 4th position.
No, Buson's got a penalty.
Oh dear.
Buson's got either a drive-through or stop and hold. If that's for incidents already, I think that could be a stop and hold for Mike Buson, or it could be a drive-through, I think, actually, on this one. So it could be a drive-through for Mike Buson.
Is that because he didn't serve the meatball flag immediately? As Phil Glover's come out of the pits and gone straight on into the gravel at turn 2 there.
Yeah. He came, he saw, and he disappeared.
Yeah, there we go. It doesn't quite have a catchy ring to it, but yeah, unfortunately, Phil Glover goes to look at the wind farms. Not intentionally, of course, but that seems to be where he's ended up. Yeah, there we go. He's got a nice view. Yeah, Larson, meanwhile, 8 tenths behind Mandika then. So if Buson has got that penalty to serve for whatever the reason, I assume it's because he didn't immediately serve the meatball flag, or it's the track limits or something.
He has got three laps to do the meatball. I'm probably guessing it's for track limits. He's been himself involved in a good old few, though, hasn't he? You know what I mean? Let's not forget that for Mike Buson.
Certainly not the cleanest race.
No, it was off tracks. It was bumping on one, then he ran over the back of Pavera, and yeah, it all got a little bit messy. So Mike Buson now is down in 6th. He is chasing Mandika, but again, I think he has got to come into pit lane. He's probably just got his head down this time and is driving for as long as possible. But unfortunately,
if it's an in-game penalty, he's got to serve it, though, isn't it? He's not going to be able to protest it afterwards and just stay out.
No, he will be disqualified if he does not take it within 3 laps. Same as all the penalties, the same with a meatball. The only ones that are different are obviously slowdowns. They've generally got about 30 seconds to get the slowdowns off. They're generally around about 2.5 seconds, give or take, or it depending on how severe it is, especially at Watkins Glen. If you miss the bus stop altogether, you get a bit of a longer one. But yeah, a lot of it depends on that. But this is unfortunately, I think, an incident limit for Mike Buson, and he's going to have to go and perform a drive-through on that one.
I think he wants to pass Mandika before he serves it, just for a little bit of pride here. I think that's the only reason he's staying out there. Mandika into the turn 7 there, just blocks Buson's way through the Talaman Bocht. Now down towards turn 8 they go. This could be a place where Buson can force Mandika into a mistake. Mandika gets a bit twitchy. Up the inside goes Buson, and he's got the line, easy as you like, forces Mandika to lock up there. And now surely Buson is going to say, well, I've had my fun. I'll go serve that penalty now.
Yeah, I don't. That's the thing. I think he's got he's got one more lap to do it. From Mandika's point of view, he's just got to slow down, so it ain't going to really matter. But if Buson had then got in front of him, I think from Mandika's point of view, I might have sat there and thought, what the hell's the point in that? What was the point in that when you're going in pit lane anyway? Do you know what I mean? Because wow, we just about nearly caught Braun going into the back end of Mandika.
Yeah, I think Mandika just really caught Braun out there. Didn't expect him to be so slow there. Through 2 and 3. And again, he's almost catching it too early there.
Yeah, he should motor past him now. And Emmanuel Mandika drops down to 7th place behind Phil Glover. In front of Phil, who's down 8 laps, still trying to sort out his techie issues. He keeps coming in, coming out. I suppose from his point of view, he might as well try and get some laps under his belt here, Ed, because he's going to get points, isn't he?
Well, with Sophie finishes in the race, there's still an 8th place here, which could, you never know, be crucial come the end of the season, especially in the SR10 Championship, where Phil is always one of the regular attendees. So those who've got less good attendance over the course of the season, even with a couple of drop rounds here and there, that can make a big difference, particularly for... Whoa!
Somebody should get DQ'd.
Is that my Busan then?
It should be my Busan. They've generally only got 3 laps.
Unless this is a visual glitch and he's not seeing what we're saying. Which would be very odd. But that kind of sums up today, doesn't it?
It could be, but...
I have to ask him about it after, don't we?
Yeah, I'm generally... okay. Maybe I'm sure he does. I think he's already done the 3 laps, I'm pretty sure, as well. Unless he's going to go in this one, but yeah, very bizarre indeed here, Ed.
Yeah, not sure what to make of it myself, really, but Busan, while he's on track, is going to try and chase down Larson for P4, and for P2, of course, in the SR8 class in this particular race with Gullikson. Now 7 seconds behind Silver, still looking for a class victory, but Silver now does look to be more and more under control at the front of this one. And they've got a 16-second gap behind Gullikson to Pavera, who's looking for... of course, he took the lead early at the start and survived the contact with Busan. And in finally does come Mike Busan. So I think he realised if he stayed at another lap longer, he was going to be in real trouble there.
Yeah, very, very, very close from Mike. I just want to see, because there's not a lot else, nobody else is really close at the moment. I think it will be... Oh, is he going in to stop and hold? He is. Turn off everything. Your stop and hold penalty would be minimal. Or is he going to call it a day after all of the drama that Mike Busan has had in this race? Stop and go.
Oh!
He got that.
Yeah, because it's iRacing, you can't hit anyone in the pit lane.
No, there you go. Mike Busan gets off his penalty and it's coming back out on to the racetrack. Patricio Silva out in front, 5 laps to go.
Yeah, looks like he's made all the right decisions. Really, the race just literally opened up for him when Busan and Pavera came together in front of him, and he did well to avoid that, actually, because he was less than about half a second behind Busan at the time. So as being third in the queue can be a good thing, as here is Gullikson, who has lost, I think, a little bit more time. Don't forget, Pavera, by the way, is being caught by 2 seconds a lap by Larson, who's now 9 seconds behind, as Gullikson has just looped it round at turn 8 there.
Yeah, Gullikson's trying all on his own to lose the lead in the SR8s. There. He's at that moment as well. Busan's been off the side of the circuit and come back on again. Got another slowdown. Not the greatest of evenings for him, but Silva really can afford to take it quite easily here, Ed, and just make sure he wraps this one up.
Yep, he hasn't got any pressure from behind now with that 16-second gap to Gullikson, so there's no incentive to set really, really fast laps unless he's feeling really, really confident and wants to make a statement. Of course, we did see him recover to, was it P5, P6 in the first race after the incident at the first corner, so he'll feel that this time it's other people who've had the incidents, and there's a little bit of a, I don't want to say karmic justice, maybe poetic justice from his point of view that, shows this performance is completely deserving of victory then. But yeah, let's see if he can pull the gap over 20 seconds to Gullikson. He's certainly got the ability to do so. Puts in a 1:22.4, so that shows me he's just roughly driving to a mean pace, or a medium pace here. Larson, by the way, within 5 seconds of Pavera, of course, caught Gullikson a lot with that spin. But I don't think Pavera has really got the raw pace to challenge Gullikson on his own. Although having said that, he was 0.6 faster at that previous lap, so you never know. Braun, though, going over a second lap faster than Larson, so it could be Heinz Braun making a move for P4 before the end of this one. Considering Braun had to go in for the meatball flag right at the start, had a very long stop. He's actually recovered brilliantly here.
Yeah, he is. There is Kettle Larson there in front of him. That SR10 should have the raw, unadulterated pace over the 8. Larson runs a little bit wide again. Braun comes back this way. It's now going to be who's going to get close. Gullickson again with another slowdown. I'll tell you, he's thrown this away all on his own because Pavera's now less than 4 seconds away from him at the moment. Gullickson can't keep throwing and falling to throw this away, buddy. Otherwise, he will be ended up losing that position to Pavera.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that would still put him in the... I mean, it wouldn't be ideal, but it would still lead him in the lead of the SR8 class. But yeah, you don't want to give up a position even to an SR10 that's quicker down the straights if you can help it then. So Braun, you saw absolutely launching it over the Klein chicane. He's got nothing to lose at this point. May as well throw caution to the wind in the 3 laps that there are less than 3 laps left here. And if Braun can clear Larson quickly, he might have a shot at Pavera, but I think it's a little bit of a long one. Yeah,
there's only 2 laps to go there as well. See the leader is coming round into Klein at the top part of the track map. Braun's going to run around the outside, is he? Ooh. No, goes in deep, runs wide himself. Larson manages to hold on here, but it is literally, that was a Heinz Braun mistake all on his own.
Yeah, sort of got suckered into that one because he got halfway alongside down the straight and then into the braking zone, found himself sort of with nowhere to go on the outside other than sort of slightly straight on there. So that was actually quite smart from Larson. Knew that even though he was in a vulnerable position, that he just had to position his car perfectly, and Braun was even in a position where he had to back out, or what we saw happen. Oh, there we go, well over the curb. Good save by Larson, but he's surely not going to hold on here, as Braun has a good run towards turn 7, but not able to get alongside. So Larson lucky to survive that one.
Yeah, I don't think... Sorry, I had a mouthful of lemonade and it fizzly bubbled it up through my mouth. I don't think he's going to be able to, Larson's going to be able to do that again. That's what I was saying. I think if he makes another mistake like that, I think Braun's going to get him.
Yeah, absolutely. One mistake could decide all of these battles here. Larson still only about 2.7 seconds behind Pavera, so I think Pavera has lost a little bit of touch with Gullickson in the last lap or so, as they slide it through Jackie chicane. This time Braun gets another good run, but again, is he going to be able to complete it before they get to the braking zone to the outside into turn 1? And Heinz Braun, just gets sideways, and he completely lost that one.
Yeah, but was that sideways all on his own, or was there inside contact there? I don't think there was.
I think he just braked himself.
Yeah, just got a little bit of a wiggle on, unfortunately. Heinz Braun, kind of another man, a master of his own downfall here this evening.
Whoa! And into the gravel goes Pavera. So that's 2 positions lost there, as through goes Larson and Braun.
Yeah, unfortunately for Pavera, he's now 3rd in class, still takes a podium there as well. The leader, Patricio Gomez, coming round to take the final lap. That is Mike Buson in front of us. Mandika's now got a penalty. I'm going to probably suggest that's for incident points as well. Over the line he goes for Patricio Silva. Final lap. He's driven a great race.
Yep. There's not really too much to fault here, his performance here. As you can see in the background, Braun still right behind Larson. Incredibly, now Heinz Braun has gone from the very back of the field to challenging for P3 here. So given how difficult this race looked, how it looked like he was going to be behind Mike Buson, in the end, he has absolutely made the difference here. Now getting alongside the 3rd time lucky then. Into turn 1 he comes. On the outside, sweeps across. This time he does just about get to the apex there. And that is Braun onto the podium at the final opportunity that he had there, really. Yeah, and I don't think there'll be any reply from Kettle Larson at the moment in time, unless Larson can do something absolutely amazing with that SR8. But your leader is in through Villeneuve as well, coming round to Lalenbach, then down into Joachim Rindt, the final penultimate corner before they go into Jackie Hitbox at the moment as well. We'll keep an eye out on him. But Heinz Braun has got that position away, and I think he's going to hold that position here as well. Let's give this man some airtime, Ed. He's done an absolutely stellar job here this evening. Patricio Silva started on the
third on the grid, up 2 places to take that victory here tonight as well. Patricio Silva is your winner in the SR10s. Great job from him. Over the line he comes. The man from Portugal takes that victory here this evening. Ole Gullickson's going to take the victory in the SR8s as long as he can hold it for one final corner. Through he goes, always worrying when they come through the final corner, but he has managed to get it done. Ole Gullickson over the line for the SR8 victory here as well. And as we said, Ed, a great recovery from Heinz Braun.
Yep, indeed. Certainly, it wasn't the cleanest race for most of the grid. A fair few mistakes up and down it. But yeah, certainly Braun put his head down and had a really great fight with Larson particularly. That was great fun to watch. Buson, this will be a man that's kicking himself, because this is a race he very easily could have won, but for 2 major mistakes meant that he not only had to serve a meatball flag, but also a driving standards flag. It looks like Pavera has gotten himself into the same difficulty, though, on this final lap. We did actually see Mandika pit and come out behind Buson too, so he looks to have really hit trouble in the late phases as well. Has Pavera got that after crossing the line? I'm not sure.
If he got that on the final lap, the only thing he will have is a 40-second penalty added to his time.
And Buson's 51
seconds back, so it ain't going to make an absolute blind bit of difference. It should still be the same order as we wait for Mandika to come over the line as well. But yeah, if Pavera's got a penalty, then it ain't going to really change a lot on this one. But let's just check the results, just in case iRacing has done something funky. Patricio Silva is your winner here as well for the SR10s and the overall. Ole Gullickson takes the win in the SR8s, and Heinz Braun, Kettle Larson, and Dominic Pavera, nope, he made no difference whatsoever. Mike Buson in 6th with Emmanuel Mandika and Phil Glover. We'll have a quick chat with Phil Glover and find out what went wrong in race number 2 after he looked like taking his first win while I've been in the booth. Phil, what happened? Oh, okay. That happened. Oh. You know, it's times like these, you can literally make up an interview and just say that nobody can hear Phil, couldn't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was wondering if that was a me issue and you can actually hear Phil there.
No,
but
I was literally just making it up on my own. I was like, oh, really? That's what happened. His VR went.
I'm not going to do Phil the disservice of impersonating him to have a pretend interview. So.
But I think it's the fact that he lost his VR, and then from his VR, he lost all connection, and then from there, it all went wrong. But let's bring in Heinz Braun, as Phil Glover is not available for a chat. Heinz, who took the win in race number 1 and then finished second in class in race number 2, does keep him at the top of the championship in the SR10. So, Heinz, welcome in, bud. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
How are you? Mate, I'm hot, dude. I'm sweating out more than a woman on menopause at the moment in time. I can tell you that.
I didn't want that image in my head, thanks.
You know what I mean? Dude, it is horrible. Heinz, how's it going out there, mate? You know, you had quite a nice little battle in race number 1, and then, well, it kind of went a bit wrong in race number 2.
Yeah, I would say in race number 1 it was a little bit against myself a bit, because I was pushing for some laps and always had to keep the gap to Mike, because you can do quite easily a big mistake and then just spin, and then you have to push again to just manage the P1. But yeah, second race was a little bit difficult. I tried to take it easy, and then yeah, it's 3 wide in the chicane. A little bit unfortunately, I was thinking I was safe on the right side, and then just Mike came in front of me. So then it was a little bit more exciting to look what I can still manage when coming out of the pits.
Yeah, well, trust me, dude, there was a few people in front of you who were quite happily throwing it away all on their own as well. Poor old Dominic Pavera having moments with Mike Buson. Ole Gullickson was just deciding that he was going to get slowdowns and spin the back end round a client chicane. So everybody was having their own problems as well, Heinz. And that's the thing. Going forward, though, you're looking pretty comfortable at the top of the championship, right?
Yeah, it seems. As long as I don't miss any races in the end, it seems to be quite a sure thing to win a championship finally.
Yeah, on to Phillip Island next week, mate. How'd you get on there?
Okay, Phillip Island. It's not my favorite track. It's a little bit difficult for me. I really don't like it. Today it was more a track that I really like, and a little bit unfortunately that participation was a little bit low. But yeah, I will see. In Phillip Island, I think I can manage to be in the top 3 maybe, and should be enough.
All right, mate. Well, good job, Heinz. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go, bud?
No shout out to you. Only thanks for doing the broadcast. I will look at afterwards. Have a night. Good night.
All right, man. Take care, buddy. We'll catch up with you soon.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Right, Ed, that looks like we're going to get all the interviews. I think everybody is doing the same as I'm doing and absolutely sweating out like a trooper. Final words from you, dear sir, before we wrap up?
Yeah, I think, well, Heinz Braun, 2 really good performances there. And yeah, let's not forget Patricio Silva's win in race number 2 there. So, as he said, attendance was a little smaller than usual, but they did their best to put on a good show for us. I've enjoyed my evening, but yeah, I think now's the time to get some more fluid in you and maybe get some sleep as well.
Absolutely. I'm off to jump back in the shower after I've already just come out of one, and it's been a great evening here as well. I've been JP. Join us next week for Phillip Island. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I've been alongside Ed Hunter, and as always, take care. Have a great week, and you never know, we might just see you on a track sometime. Good night.